And here we are back for the final round. Looks like our opponent got the high roll, so they will be choosing. How do I feel about this hand on the draw? A little questionable. I mean, how many islands were we running? Oh, needless to say, I'm getting into standard. I guess you can tell from what's going on there. There will be standard on my stream soon. So we're running, what, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're running 7. So math says I'm probably not going to draw one, right? I do think people mulligan too often in limited. Like, how sad am I if I just whiff on islands for a while? What's the upside of hitting the island? I get to go Homunculus into Geist with Motives and Duelist to back it up. You know, I actually think the upside is here. Yeah, if one of the top two cards is an island, we're in pretty good shape. I think that's a 25%er. Each time. Something like that. I'm going to try it. I'm not sure about the math here, but this looks like a keepable hand. I've got to be careful because I'm used to running 8 sources of my secondary color, and this deck is not doing that. I don't think it auto-loses if it misses on the islands. It depends on what we're playing against. We haven't seen a white deck yet, so presumably a white X deck. But I think you should be able to keep 2 landers in most decks. I've leaned towards playing 18 lands in sealed just to make sure that you never have to stress about keeping a hand like this. This deck with the low curve that it has, I don't think would want 18 lands. But a lot of my sealed decks do. So what's going on here? You stole the king's what? I don't even want to guess what that... Oh, you're shoving like something in your sleeve. Okay. I thought that... Yeah, we're not going to talk about that anymore. All right, I expected a white deck, but that is exceptionally red. And a red 2-drop's a good thing here. Like, from here, we kind of just want lands. It doesn't really matter what they are. Ideally, they'll be blue, but they don't have to be. Okay, they're the red-black vampire deck. Go figure. So we're a little screwed here, and that none of our dudes can attack. That's actually a surprisingly good blocker for what we're trying to do here. I guess I'm more likely to want to play a blue spell. Well, I know I'm going to play the Geist next turn, so it does leave me in a position where if I go ahead and play the Homunculus now, I could play the Fiend and the Homunculus at a later turn, and like this isn't going to start dealing damage for a while. If they tap out, we may be able to get some Spiteful Motives value, and maybe able to get some value with that on the Geist, potentially. Like that could be a 6-power unblockable creature. That's relevant. Well, it could be even bigger than that, I suppose. Not really sure what they're looking to do. Like, we should be a little scared of Twins of Mauer Estate at that point, but they can't even block this. Okay, yeah, they had it, but whatevs. I guess that means for us to set up a scenario where we can get Spiteful Motives value, we're actually going to have to block. And I really don't like using combat tricks when you're blocking. And that also assumes we hit a land. Which we might not. This isn't a super scary card. They just were able to get out a 3/5 at a point in the game where you normally don't have something of that size. This also makes me feel like they might have a removal spell in hand since they're waiting so long to play their stuff. Howpack Wolf would be good here if it could block. But I don't have Spiteful Motives, and my guys just die. Yeah, I mean, there's not actually choice here. You play the 3-drop and pass. Like, attacking with this doesn't do anything. We'll probably have to trade it off for a Gorger. Because this guy clearly isn't doing it. I think if we'd hit the land there, we probably could have kept pace with what's going on. But once you're stuck with double Spiteful Motives and Voldarian Duelists, you're in pretty bad shape. Because these are not defensive cards. Yeah, Geist isn't our kill condition here. If he wants to discard a card to get rid of that, that doesn't particularly play around the enchantment. But I don't really think we're beating anything anyway. Because, like, this guy can still potentially be a 5-power first striker. I mean, it's exceptionally weak to everything. But right now we're just interested in stabilizing. If he's just trying to bluff me for 1 point, that's fine. And if he has the combat trick that sticks, that sucks. But, you know, what you gonna do? Convicted Killer at least lets us block. So that's a pseudo start. I mean, they're down to 2 cards and we got a handful of action and we're not dead. That's something. They also seem to value this Gorger a lot higher than I would. I would have sent it in last turn to trade with this, so I'm not... Like, now I'm in a position where I can block a Twins of Mauer Estate with both of these and be pretty happy. I guess that sort of explains it. God, if they stop attacking, we're happy. Okay, they didn't, so we'll do the thing we said we were going to do. Which is double block that guy and let him kill the wolf, or the homunculus if he wants to. And one of the few ways we get out of this is top decking a land. Well, there's the land. And it's not pretty. So we could play both of these things, but I don't think they actually stop anything. So we're at 6. I have to block this, and I have to block that. So I block this, and Spiteful Motives, and it's killed. And maybe we should just trade with this and take 3, 4. Like, that puts us dead to a lot of things, but I don't think it puts us just dead. We know one of his cards is the 1/1 Menace. So as much as I hate the defensive Spiteful Motives, I think that's just where we are. I guess I could block this guy here. Yeah, because he's going to be a 4/4. I don't have to cast the Spiteful Motives on him. I can cast it on this one. Block here, Spiteful Motives, block there. Just eat it. Take 3 potentially. I mean, this could easily go wrong, but it could easily go oh so right. Especially if they're cautious and don't attack with the team. I guess that'd be even better. Okay. That's not particularly good. It does change what we're going to have to do here. Oh. No, actually that's not so bad. 4 plus 3 is 7, right? If I counted right. I'll just eat your dude. That's fine. Alright. So, he equips something else. We can still double block it. We're a little shy to a removal spell there, but I think I like just playing two things here. And going with the defensive convicted killer for the moment. Like, this is the deck for Murderer's Axe, I suppose. Like, if we can survive this turn, I think we can actually start attacking. I probably have to pass with the Spiteful Motives up again, but I'm kind of okay with that. Alright, alright, alright. That sucks. We're not happy about it. Does that mean we're just dead? I don't think we're just dead. I mean, we're dead to a lot of things here. Yeah, the problem is if I take this 4 and use the Spiteful Motives next turn, then they just swing team and we're dead. So I think I actually have to chump it here, which I don't like. I also don't like throwing my entire team in front of it, but I think we're block it this turn, then land Spiteful Motives on something else and cross our fingers. Like, we're already dead to the trample spell. This is one of the best black-red combo decks I've seen. And my opponent was absolutely correct not to trade this off with a Homunculus earlier. From my perspective, that looked stupid, but I'm not used to this card being that amazing. I think every card in their deck probably says Vampire on it. That's so many vampires. Plan is, of course, they have a land in hand and a land on the top of their deck. Next turn we can block with another Homunculus, first strike it, and they probably just attack with that guy. Ideally. Maybe we draw a Lightning Axe too. We'll see. Alright, no, it's a land. So, I mean, we do what we do. Playing this guy and chump blocking doesn't do anything. If they've got another spell, we are pretty much dead to that. Like, this is just bad all around. But here we are. Don't cast a spell. Don't do a thing. Alright, well, this is what we have to do. So we're at 6. I think these are the blocks we make. I guess I'd rather have this guy around because there's a possibility it could get enabled, whereas the Skulk on this just isn't doing anything. So this puts us to 1 when they activate that. If they don't, we still have a big first striker and we can cast this guy to block. Again, they have to have nothing. Well, that gives their vampires first strike, which I think means we're just done. Oh yeah, because prowess trigger too, so that just doesn't do anything. If I thought about that a little better, we'd have cast it on the homunculus, so at least we trade with some of their stuff. But hey, we got one more turn to draw the red-blue Wrath of God. Basically, this matchup comes down to who can get ahead and stay ahead first. They've got, I think, more of the tools to do it. But I'm not sure that their draw would have been so good without that Gorger. We'll see. We'll see. I apologize if it feels a little choppy. My opponent's taking a while between turns. I would guess they're double queuing. So I'm just going to pause it when there's an action. And I don't see any real reason to show them any more cards, so we'll just pass and die here. I'm guessing they're going to take the full time for sideboarding too. So we're up against hyper aggro. Is there anything that I'm not super interested in against that? Like, these guys are pretty bad. The Silent Observers handle a lot of their stuff, but it does turn us into more of a control deck. Like, that's a point where we might almost want to consider morphing into a control deck. Say we swap out those guys for these guys. What does this deck look like now? It looks like we've got some potentially aggressive openings. Not a lot. We're pretty good at blocking. But those 1/3s just really make me want to get the 2/1s out of the deck. And play like a Seagraph Scab. It seems crazy, but like what we need to beat them is a couple turns with a Storm Rider Spirit. Or this guy to get through, which is probably not going to happen either, but we've still got the potential press, Stitched Mangler combo for that. I'm going to try this. It doesn't seem awesome. I think this is going to be a difficult matchup for us, but I think this may give us the shot that we need. If they're playing a bunch of 4/1s and things that turn into 3/1s and 1/1s, and then cheating out 5/5s, isn't a 1/5 what we want? I'm not really looking at it as a 1/5 creature. I'm looking at it as the blue Terminate. Yeah, I'd like to play first. That seems good to me. Can't keep this one. That's unfortunate. It's got some of the tools we'd want against them, but not enough of them. Well, this will work. I'm not exactly excited about it, but we'll take it. Well, there you go. We now have a plan. Step 1, land spiteful motives. Step 2. Step 3, profit. I say the next thing we need is another creature to put out some pressure. I was going to say we run out the Duelist here, but I think it's just the Convicted Killer. Even if they flip our stuff back, we can hit for 9 next turn. And this is just an easy... Well, I think I'd do that and then Spiteful Motives next turn. Yeah, that lets me potentially Spiteful Motives for lethal next turn. I said this game was going to be all about who can get ahead and stay ahead. And right now, we're ahead. Let's stay ahead. Like at 3, they're pretty dead. Alright. Yeah, they can't have the nut draw every time. I still think I like the plan of play Silent Observers as removal spells, especially now that we've seen 4/2s and just all this other crap. Like, I just want to block it. We had a really good draw that time, and it's not probably going to be as good. Yeah, the Homoculuses would have been good in that fight too, but I think we just roll this bad boy back for one more match for all of the mobbers. Let's see what you can do. Blue-red wanted to be spells deck. Well, this one's fine. It actually looks better than the last draw we had. I think by virtue of being on the draw, we're a little worse off, but that can be alright. A little too many lands here. That already can't block my guy, but we get it out of the way for next turn too. Alright, would have liked to have hit something there, but we didn't. I still want to hit instead of take it. Although we probably revert to blocking next turn. Yeah, especially when it holds that back. We were super worried we could Fiery Temper this guy, but I like the idea of maybe him attacking us, trading off, and getting the Spirit in play, because we expected that's what was going to kill him. And the Temper gives us a whole extra turn against that. And if he's going to use a removal spell to get the Mangler out of the way for the Gorger, then that's just great. We can always Fiery Temper end of turn. Well, now we know that the Gorger is going to be a problem. And we can kill it. I was going to say we kill it with the Reduce to Ashes. And I still don't hate that. But being able to play the Wolf and the Fiery Temper is not something I can do because I don't have that much red mana. So we could attack now, play the Wolf, make him equip it. Let's walk through this. So I attack, maybe he blocks, maybe he doesn't. We play the Wolf. We don't have up Fiery Temper. We can't cast Fiery Temper and this next turn anyway. Him discarding a card is a good thing for him. Yeah, I think that Gorger's got to die. That said, I'm going to swing in and probably kill the Gorger. If he trades these off, we're super happy. Like, if he wants to suit this up into a 5-power thing and then we reduce to ashes it, all the while hitting him for another 5, I think we're in pretty good shape. Twins makes it a little worse. Another Fiery Temper of his own makes it a little worse too. Because that's going to be difficult for us to race. Alright. So I think I got to kill that. And I don't like it. But here we are. Alright, and we'll get the Wolf going. Like, any of his creatures are a super threat for us now with that axe in play. This isn't quite the Terminate that I wanted. Yep. God, I wish we'd picked up a Just the Wind somewhere, because that would have done a lot of work here. I wonder if I should have tried to save the Reduced to Ashes to kill something like this. What? No, I don't think so. We hadn't seen anything that big in his deck and had no reason to suspect that he's got any 5-mana cards. So I don't think you do that. We can also get pretty far ahead if we draw like a Press for Answers. Like, that starts to get pretty reasonable. You could say it would be impressive. Not ready to chump yet. I realize he can hit us for 7. It's lethal the next turn anyway, so I think we have to either win or draw Press for Answers this turn. That's going to make winning hard. That's going to make winning hard. All right. I think that means we send in the Mangler, as we're pretty happy to make that trade. And we're going to end up jumping. Not the hero we wanted or the hero we deserved. We are currently dead to a removal spell, and I don't think we actually have good answers. That just gained him too much life for me to really even envision a sequence of draws that gets us out of it. Because even if they're just hitting lands, we don't have another way in the deck to deal with this. Something like a Sleep Paralysis would obviously be pretty good here. There's just, you know, not one in the deck. I guess it's possible that we draw our other Silent Observer. But even that's looking a bit impossible now. Yeah, Island is certainly not going to do it. So we'll make him kill me. That is, again, one of the best examples of black-red combo I have seen in this format. That was just a thing of beauty, so I will bow down and happily lose to it. That said, we've ended up pretty good, I think. We got our packs. Where are they? Come on. Show me the packs. Got our packs, got our qualifier point, and I also think it was a decent example of not saying, okay, we got a green mythic, let's be green. Because I don't think that was happening. I don't think blue was particularly open, especially after seeing the other blue-red deck. But I'm pretty happy with what happened here. We had to shift gears pretty quickly when we thought we were the Rise the Tide stack. Either way, I appreciate you guys and gals tuning in. You can also check out my stream. It's at twitch.tv/Simulin, where I'll be doing Limited and Standard now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Monday. Have a good one, my friends.